Welcome to 24/7 Flat Earth Discord channel. Be sure to go to VC Check and 1 to get your VC verification tags to get involved in the conversation about our Earth. Be sure to bring your verifiable Earth curvature evidence, though.
Enemy spotted.
CRAZYCASON Part 3.
Somebody who's been here a while, CRAZYCASON. I don't know you from Adam, so are you somebody brand new to the server? Have you been here a while?
I was here, I dropped out, came back, had some good discussions.
Discussions, you say? What's your take on the topic of the server? What is your position, CRAZYCASON?
On the topic of the server as a whole,
Yeah.
or with respect to the flat Earth debate?
Yeah. Do you believe that the Earth is a globe?
Yes, he does.
Well, yeah, I want him. Just be honest, man. If you do,
I think it's a
what?
reasonable proposition. But I also I don't think there's
go on.
clear evidence for any sort of way, right? I mean, it's
There's
just
no clear evidence for any sort of way.
Right. I mean,
How do you mean, sir?
In my day-to-day life, I don't pay much attention to
Anything?
whether the Earth is flat or round. I'm usually trying to fix just typical problems.
So you can't be bothered with such mundane things as, something.
I don't get paid to be bothered with this shit.
You don't get paid, so you got to get paid to be bothered with this shit. In other words, the basic knowledge of the place where you live, where you reside on, is just not important to you at all. Period. Is that what I'm getting from you right now, Crazy?
I mean, I'm more consumed with mowing the grass, which is the basic fucking shit around my house.
Yeah, mowing the grass on the Earth that you live on that you don't know or can't be bothered with about what it is. Is that correct?
Not that
I'm
I
just
can.
trying to get a feel.
I'm here.
I'm just trying to get. Yeah, but
The
check this
reason
out,
I'm
man.
here
Because
is to talk about it, right?
Well,
I
it's
mean,
not about. It's not. Listen,
I can't be.
The knowledge about what we speak of in here, it's for everyone's benefit. So it's not. Some people come in here like, well, I just want to have a discussion. It's not that. It's a rock your world kind of a conversation. It's a world changing, paradigm shifting conversation. It's something you're not gonna like. Because if it's truth being spoken, either you know truth or you don't know truth. So let me ask you, do you know the truth or you don't know the truth, Crazy? Before I even go any further, do you know the truth?
Can we circle back to the take on the server and
Why?
then get to that?
Yeah, but why can't you not answer my question? I feel like when I ask you a direct question, it should just at least merit an answer, right? At least.
The truth with respect to the question, right?
Well, yeah. What are we discussing right now?
Respect to what, the Earth being flat or round?
Obviously, not talking about like what size the lobster is or anything. Like talking about the Earth.
Yeah, I don't know the truth.
You don't know the truth. So right now, like you think that the Earth may or may not be a globe.
It may or may not be flat too. I also think so.
Right. So what if we just go ahead and figure out if that has any merit to what how you think? What if I just give you a quick exercise to kind of know for sure, right? Okay, you might think it's a globe, perhaps. It could be, right? Like you just said. Right? Could be. Right? Is this thing on?
Could be. Sure.
Okay. All right. So let me just clear your doubts and show you that it absolutely is not. Okay? How about that? We'll do that right now. It's really easy.
Is this the geometry? We went over the geometry.
This geometry? No. I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and you either know or you don't know the answers to them. And by this, you would be able to answer the question sufficiently with detailed knowledge of, said information about the Earth or not. But that way you'll know or not know if the Earth is a globe or not. It's really easy, obviously. But I've been hearing that you're wavering anyway, so I know how this is already going to end up. Actually, I know how this is going to end up either way, but I want you to be surprised.
Can we first? Okay, I was gonna say because any quote unquote knowledge by rhetoric, I would not deem as something that I know, unless if empirical evidence is there and
Okay, well, you're just
can
gonna
be
say you don't know
validated.
altogether before I even begin.
Knowledge by rhetoric, if there's
Knowledge by
anything.
rhetoric. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're not going to be able to answer. I mean, let me just go through the exercise real quick. Then
So
I'll let you.
what I'm saying is, if
Let me.
the
Yeah.
question
Let's
pertains to
let's not
something
let's
I
not
have
be.
heard,
Yeah, I know, but hang on, man, because I think you're just hemming and hawing right now. Let's just go through the exercise and then let's see what's what. How about that?
sure, sure.
All right. So the first question I have for you is: who's ever measured the curvature of the Earth any time in history with drop over distance?
Even by rhetoric, I don't know that answer.
Okay. Second question. Right? Because I need you to respond in any way, shape, or form that you can sufficiently answer these questions. Second question: who's ever measured the Earth to be spinning at 1,000 miles per hour at the equator any time in history?
Also, don't know that.
Third question: they tell us that we're living in the vacuum of space. A ball's floating around the globe Earth. It's floating around in the vacuum of space, adjacent to the pressure, or the vacuum of space is adjacent to the pressure air that you and I are breathing, somewhere around the 14.6 psi on the surface. So if that's true, that we have that pressure on the surface and we have the vacuum of space that's adjacent to it, then we're trying to figure out how is it possible to have a gas pressure without a container? As they tell us in the Earth being a globe that it's an open system where matter and energy can transfer. How do we have that?
By rhetoric, it's not possible. But
Okay.
I also
I don't know why you
if that's
caveat
what
to
we
say
do.
by rhetoric. I just need the answer if you know it or not.
Well, by rhetoric means that I know it through hearsay.
Well, that's not what I'm concerned about. I need to know if you know the answer to the give to sufficiently or not. Just you could just say yes or no. I know or not. I don't know. Would be
So
sufficient.
I don't know any of those. The
Okay.
answer to any of those
All
questions.
right. So then let me just go ahead and encapsulate those three questions and the answers that you've given. It's basically that the Earth being a globe spinning in the vacuum of space is a blind belief that you're holding on to. Whether it be something that you think may or may not be going on, it's still a blind belief. There is no merit to you understanding fundamentally that there's any evidence for that whatsoever.
So
So
is it a
currently, I'm
blind
almost done.
belief or
I'm almost done. So currently, right now, you have this blind belief, or you've been holding on to thus far. I don't know how old you are, but for as long as you've been old, you just blindly believe that the Earth is a globe. May or may not be. Excuse me. May or may not be a globe.
but
That's it.
that's not the case.
Oh, it is absolutely. You just demonstrated that's the case. You know, you're gonna go ahead and say that I did anything wrong to lie, sir. You admitted that you don't know to all three of those. That
Yeah,
is the
but you
case.
said
That
you
absolutely
inherently
is the case, crazy. That
and
absolutely is the case. You blindly believe by your own admission that the Earth is not a globe
is
because
it
you don't know anything about it. I don't know was your answer to three of those questions.
but
How can you now say anything about it otherwise?
so just I mean to
Yes. What do you
calm
mean?
the tone here. Is it that you
Calm the
can
tone.
dive into my psyche and
I
derive
don't
my
have to. You
beliefs?
admitted it, sir. You admitted it to me. I don't dive into anything. You outwardly expressed it by saying, I don't know. So you gave it to me
No, no, that
like I knew you would.
that my beliefs, right? Because you
It's
claim
a
to know my
yeah,
beliefs.
the globe is a blind belief that you have right now. May
It,
or may not. Let me just caveat and say may or may not know. Like it's a
it,
blind belief.
so it's a
That's all it is.
possibility
No,
in
it's
all the
not.
possibilities
It
that
is not a
I could
possibility
believe.
because if there was any evidence for the case, there would have been some brought forth when the questions. There was no evidence, therefore, it's a blind belief.
So
There is nothing to substantiate the claim. Well, I already knew that because you were already wavering. It may or may not be a globe. So I already knew that going in. So you just demonstrated right now to everybody. I don't know why you're just like not admitting that you said, hey, I said I didn't know. And that means you don't know, which means
hey, I said
the
I didn't
Earth.
know.
There you said it again. So that means that the Earth is not a globe. Because if there was, you could easily demonstrate any sort of evidence that would substantiate the three questions that I gave you. See how that is? That's so easy, isn't it?
How does that
See how
mean
good
the
that,
Earth?
see how good that feels for you to admit the truth? You've admitted the truth.
Does those 3 questions inevitably, without a reasonable doubt, deny the possible idea that the Earth is a globe?
100%. Because check this out. If there was anyone to come forward, and please present your evidence, because these 3 questions have been shellacking people's pseudo-intelligence when they come into the server every time. From the most, what do you want to call them? The average person, on the street who says, I don't know, a scientist knows, to the actual scientist. Hey, I'm a scientist. Okay, let me ask you 3 questions. So I've done that to every person in between, including the average guy and the scientist, whom everybody says, let's just we'll just talk to the scientist because he knows. No, I talk to the scientist, the astrophysicist, the cosmologist, the PhD. They're all clueless. They don't know. So you, who are probably the average Joe on the internet, doesn't know either. It's the same. Nobody knows the information because it's not true. There's no truth to it. Therefore, 100%. It is not a globe.
This is what you're talking about. Is that you have, without a doubt, undeniable evidence the Earth is not a globe. But it sounds like what you provided me is that there's 3 questions that I don't know the answer to.
No, that nobody does. How about that, Crazy? I just made it to where nobody, not even you, not the astro. I just said that. Why am I going over?
So here's
why do you want to listen? What I don't understand is that there's a lot of wheels being spun here, and a lot of going back to the same thing that I just said. We don't need that. We've already covered that ground. What we got to do right now is let you kind of soak in the information that you admitted you don't know, and I'm telling you, nobody else does. Either if they did, you'd bring such a person into this. You'd be like, hey, wait a minute. I know a scientist. Okay, go get him. Bring him in here. And I'll ask him the 3 questions, and you'll find out that your hero doesn't know either. So it doesn't matter who you bring in here. Nobody knows. That means that because of that, it's all a made-up story. And so how are you trying to right now reason with your mind with this, maybe cognitive dissonance, because probably what is taking hold of you right now, and then come forward and say, well, let me try to just figure this out here. No, you don't have to. You've admitted you don't know, and that's just fine. Why can't you just resonate with that? I don't know. That's okay. Right?
It is okay. This is the whole point of what I'm getting at, though.
Are we good?
But it's okay. Yeah, we're good. Can I propose a made up example?
Why?
Just to frame
what?
the discussion.
We've already covered everything that needs to be covered. We're settled. I mean, everybody's leaving the court. Everybody's wanting to go home. They want to go home. Why are you delaying the thing that shouldn't be delayed? It's like, what is this all about? Everybody wants to go home. Everybody wants to eat. Like, what? Why are you still now waiting? What are you putting on hold for? What do we got to hear that's so important? Crazy.
So here's what it is. You got a black box that's impossible to open. And, Joe says there's a cat in it. Jim says there's nothing in it. And Sally says there's a marble in it. And if I say it's possible that there's a cat in it, and you give me 3 reasons why somebody did a test that, quote unquote, proved there was a cat in it, and I said, well, I don't know if that test is true or not. How does that then say it's impossible to be a cat? So this is because this is what I'm getting at.
Dude,
is the globe.
Yeah, you're getting it. You're getting at mental gymnastics, dude, and you're performing like a fucking somersault and shit.
Talking about fuckwit rhetoric.
Jeez Louise, dude.
You're guilty of what you charged others not to do. What the fuck kind of example is that?
It's not any claim.
It's rhetoric. It's horseshit rhetoric. I'll give you a fucking box. I already proved the flat earth to you the other day with elevation angles. Did you forget? You're not keeping up on current events, are you?
I am, but the current events that are paying me. The ones that I get.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you answer the question? Why don't you answer the question again? How can you have a curved fucking adjacent?
Yeah, you can't.
Well, there you go. Welcome to Flat Earth. Snacks are in the back, bathrooms on the left. DJ's spinning requests. Smoke them if you got them. Thanks.
Yeah, man, we're leaving the court. Like, I don't know what you're gonna. You can stay talking to yourself, man, because we're done here. We're all done here. We're good. You came forward and you try to present whatever you had, and you came up tits. So we're good.
What did I try to present? Just so that I'm clear.
That you may or may not know that the Earth is a globe, and now I just showed you that you have no knowledge whatsoever. So now you're just gonna have to sit and really think about that you don't know anything whatsoever.
Said I knew.
And you could caveat with you saying that, well, I don't get paid for that. No one cares, dude, because you don't have the knowledge of the Earth being a globe. So we're good. Like, all we needed to hear is that you don't have that, and there's no way that you know that it is a globe. So it's not.
There's no way that I know it's not a globe either. I mean, so this is what I'm getting at, is that if there's something that you simply don't know, why even argue over it? Right?
No,
if you just don't know.
I've told you I do know, and I've given you one proof that you agree with. So cognitive dissonance, much?
No, that so it's QE now.
Okay, what?
That you know.
Listen, I've already done my part. I've exposed that you have no knowledge. He just showed you that it is flat. I showed you that you have no knowledge of it being a globe, which takes care of that half. The other half is that he showed you that it is flat, and now you're denying his.
Oh, but how is the fact that you cannot have a curved adjacent proving the Earth is flat?
Because we're
beyond reasonable doubt.
Celestial. Well, I'm going to tell you, shut the fuck up. And I already told you the other night. Because we're successfully finding our position using celestial navigation and elevation angles. That's why.
But that's beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
And it could just be a good approximation.
It's not an approximation. It's dividing by 0 to try to get an elevation angle off a curved surface. Unless you could tell us, back to the original question, this Elmer Fudd sophistry is not going to work. Okay?
Yeah.
So, prove a curved adjacent on a right angle triangle. Right fucking now. That's what I'm saying. Prosecution rests.
Well, it takes care of that. Unless you're trying to fucking dive down to the bottom of the ocean and get that corpse up again. We shouldn't even.
Let's hear some rhetoric with that. You can't. You know you're screwed. Now, I can go into like 6 other flat earth proofs that are on my website, but I really don't need to do that, do I?
Nah.
Because that
you
one.
Shellac.
Yeah, that's it. It's over. Gotta love it.
But it proves
I do
via hypothesis.
There is no hypothesis.
With no, how is it proven then?
No, wait a second. There is no hypothesis. That's not a scientific statement. Anything that I talked to you about within the last 15 seconds had nothing to do with natural science. You just exposed yourself as not knowing what natural science is. It's just plain geometry. And you're a mathematician, for fuck's sake.
Is he really?
Yes.
Oh.
Professional.
That's a bad look on you, Crazy.
Uh-huh.
But I do like him. I told him the other day I like him for some reason. I don't know why. So I go
a lot of people don't
lighter.
get on his.
I do go a little lighter on him, Miggy. You didn't.
All right.
I didn't. It kind of hurt me, but that's okay.
Here's something else, Kiwi.
Reasonable.
Where's that coming from? Reasonable. Anyway, I kind of went hard, but I could have been. I don't know. I could have took it a different direction. Anyway, it was what it was. But
I don't take.
Does he hang around? Do you hang around FE camps a lot, or what is you? I don't know.
This is the only one that I've ever been to.
Oh, okay. I wasn't really. You're not one of. You didn't strike me as one of those types. Like a McToon or a Protofat or some other shit. Like
No, he was pretty honest, right? He said
Yeah.
he didn't know. So
Yeah.
all what he's guilty of as of those points is he's got a religious belief because he has no evidence to support his paradigm. That's what he's guilty of right now. Until I gave him a flat earth proof that he can't, there's no way he can do anything about it. And he knows it and I know it, right? It's easier with him because he's not a dumb fuck, right? He's a mathematics background. He's got a geometry background. He knows I got him by the balls. So
got him by
it's
those
much
short hairs.
easier. I don't have to go into any great depth of education with him because he's already educated. That's what I'm saying. The more educated a person is, the easier my job is. So I guess that's why I like CRAZYCASON.
Yeah, that's another tombstone quote there. An educated man. Now I really hate him. That's what he said.
Was that Tombstone? You know,
Yeah.
I'd like a chance to shoot at an educated man once in my life.
What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.